morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Happy Thursday, September 26th. I can't believe it's almost October. What a year it's already been, and these last few months are going to be phenomenal. I'm excited. And today's guest, I had the pleasure of meeting in person at Mastermind in New Orleans. She is just amazing, a total delight. And this is her third time on the show, which I'm super pumped about. And it's been cool because each time she has something new in her journey, in her business, in her process. And we kind of get to go along for the ride along the way. For any of you that follow our page, you probably have seen that I've been live on Facebook for 23 hours from yesterday's live stream. Hopefully this live stream finally kick that one off on Facebook's side, and it makes that episode watchable because yesterday's episode was phenomenal with Michelle. It was all about YouTube, using YouTube as your main stream of traffic. So it's a great watch for sure. So hopefully this stream with Rylee kicks that one off so everybody can go watch yesterday's as well. So if anything, if you're watching this, make sure you go back and watch yesterday's as well. It's like a twofer for this because I know this is going to be gold today and yesterday's was as amazing as well. All right. Good morning to everyone. Let's dive on in and welcome Rylee to the show. Good morning, Rylee.
Hi, good morning, Joanne. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. When I saw your name, I was like, oh.
I'm so happy to be on again. Third time's charm. So
That's great. That's great. Love having you on. Love your story. It's so real. It's so relatable. I think it's exactly where majority of our students are going through at some stage. And the one big thing that you're doing is you just keep going.
I do. Yeah.
Right? You just keep going. You're going to hit this challenge and this roadblock and this challenge and this mindset hang up, right? And you go, all right, I could quit or I could figure it out.
Yep.
And it's not about reinventing yourself every 2 months or changing who you are or trying to be someone new or changing offers all over the place, jumping from here, and starting over like you're always spinning your wheels. It's about making calculated pivots in your strategy.
Oh, yeah.
In your focus for the same end goal and for longevity in your business. And I think you've done that quite well.
Thank you. That's the
For anyone that is brand new, hasn't caught any of your episodes previously, give us a rundown of how you found us, what you were looking for online, all of that good stuff, just so everyone gets to know you that's here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, guys. My name is Rylee. I'm a 24-year-old registered nurse, and I found Legendary back in, 2022. Sorry if you hear my dog whining. He's wanting to be good. So
all good.
We'll move past it. But no, I found y'all in 2022. I bought the blueprints actually in October 2022, and then I sat on them and didn't do a darn thing for 6 months. And then
6 months.
I
and
know.
There's somebody in our group. It happens like every few weeks. They're like,
oh yeah, I didn't do anything.
The only one that sat on it for 6 months after I bought it. I'm like, you're not the only one. And you can start anytime. You can,
yeah. And honestly, everything happens for a reason. And actually at that point in my life, I just graduated nursing school. I was in an accelerated program. I had just started my first big girl job. I was a pediatric night shift nurse. So that was I was trying to figure out how to be a real life nurse and working nights. And then I finally just looked up and realized, all of these nurses either have been here for 30 plus years and still picking up extra shifts for extra money and like working themselves into the ground. They call it the graveyard shift for a reason. And I need my sleep. I'm just not one of those people that can just like work on nights all the time. Like it was not consistent. I need consistency in my schedule and like just to be able to work out, eat right, like really treat my body well. And I was not doing that. It was really tough. And so I finally one night just made a decision and was like, all right, I'm legit going to go through this challenge. I'm legit going to, I'm going to have my meetings with my business plan advisor. And I had Bonnie, which she was amazing. And then really got a chance to like talk to her about things that I was struggling with. And she kind of led me to the blueprints, and that was the best investment. And then I finally was like, you just need to go through them. You actually got to do the work. So I would do them actually at the hospital, like if I was slow or if things were dead. When I got home, I would sleep for a little bit, wake up early, do those. And then I started posting April of 2023. And it has been a journey ever since. I have not stopped. The only break I took was when I got married in December. I took like a 10-day break for my honeymoon. Was like, let's just kind of relax. And then I did have the pleasure of getting to go to the mastermind in New Orleans, which was 10 out of 10, the best experience. And I highly recommend anybody to go, because I got to meet and interact with a lot of really cool individuals, and I got to learn from them in person, which there is nothing else like doing that compared to being online. Like you see all of these people that you want to be like, or that you look up to on this, like online. And then you finally get to see them in person, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're just a real normal human being, just like me. And they're willing to teach you things and talk with you. And that was really, really cool. So that was kind of a pivotal moment for me, for sure. I got to learn kind of, about a lifestyle account. And that's when I kind of pivoted my account a little bit from making money online to lifestyle. And it has been really exciting. It's supposed to look easy, and it's not. It's way harder than it looks. But kind of like you talked about, calculated pivots and knowing the why behind what I'm doing. I feel really confident in that right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun, different way of doing things, and there's a lot of opportunity in that type of style of an account, and I'm really excited.
I love it. All right, so there's a lot to unpack there, but
yeah, for sure.
Stay on the mastermind piece, because it's really hard to put into words what you really gain from it, what you really, right? There's something about being in the online space, loving being online, loving being able to work in your PJs if you want, at home, in your car, on the go, on your own schedule, but getting in person with people for a few days, this kind of like checks new boxes that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Would you agree? What do you think was like the part of mastermind that you didn't expect you would gain from going? Like, what was your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise was how like relatable and how personable I got to be with a lot of people that in my head I always thought, like, not that I didn't think they would be relatable or personable, but just like I got to sit around at a table with you and Bonnie and Sean and Gwen, and like just eat lunch and just chat, like just talk, And when you kind of do that, it's funny, but you don't think that when you're watching people online that they're normal, you're like, oh my gosh, this person has over 500,000 followers, and they're just this huge, pivotal person in this space that a lot of people look up to, and you just get to have a one-on-one conversation with them. Like, how cool is that, And then they know you because they see your face, and they got to have a conversation with you, and they kind of know where you're at. And I just, that was the most shocking experience, I think. And even just getting to sit down with Dave too, like just everyone.
Yeah, we don't like, keep them hidden. I think people think that they're like, oh, it's an event, so Dave will on stage for 40 minutes or something, and then we rush him off and go hide in a room, and I'm like, no, the dude's like sitting at your lunch table.
Right?
He's dancing with you on the dance floor at the party.
He was the life of the party, guys. Like, Dave is in the center of the dance floor, breaking it down 100%.
And there's just something amazing that happens, I think, with your business afterwards, because I hear this a lot from a lot of people that have attended. I remember even Sarah Thompson said after her first mastermind, that's what changed everything in her business. Yeah. And it was just realizing you're not alone. There are people out here that want to see you win and get the challenges you're going through and how to move through them.
Oh, yeah.
without that worry that when you have that conversation with a friend or a family of, hey, this is going on.
Yeah, they don't get it.
They're just not going to get it.
Yeah,
they're just not going to get it.
Yeah, being surrounded by like-minded individuals, one, that was definitely a really cool experience, and to be able to have people, like you said, that you can relate to. But I would say, my mind just went blank for a sec. This happens sometimes.
Okay.
But gosh, what was I going to say? Relatability with people. Oh, it makes it more real, you know? Because you're in this, you do this. I mean, when I went to the mastermind, I had been doing this for over 1.5 years actively. And prior to that, it was almost a year before I like had first seen like making money online and legendary and all that stuff. So I had like kind of been in this space, but when you go somewhere and you actually get to interact with these people in person, it makes it more real because you forget like the legitimacy of this because it's all online. Right. And then you get there and you're like, wow, this is real. People are surviving off of this. You know, there is possibility for me. Like if I truly give it my all and if I truly work towards something, like this could be an avenue that my life takes if I take it seriously enough. Which that is cool too, because I wasn't think that.
It's almost like oh, okay. So her story is actually her story.
Yeah.
Make it up just to be online, right? It's like, I don't know, it adds that other layer of trust, and
it really does.
And it fires people up to like, all right, let's do this, to really take action just from attending, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's talk about, we're going to dive into the lifestyle content piece.
Okay.
So it's been coined switching from, I want to add some clarity to this because I think there's some people that are confused.
Definitely.
I hear people say, I switched from make money online to lifestyle. It's basically switching. What I want to make clear, it's not switching products.
Correct.
It's switching a focus of your content on your niche to a focus of content to your audience. And that's something we really try to stress in Decade in a Day is in your business plan, you've got to dial in your audience. You need to speak to who they are. You need to be relatable to who they are, and making content they want to follow. They want to share with their friends. They want to save because this person just gets me. They understand me. When that trust is built, then they're willing to take your recommendations for whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you're not feeling salesy. You're having fun with your content.
It's so fun. It is so fun.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a focus on audience. And Ryan and I have been trying to like bang this into people on Decade in a Day.
It's hard to fully grasp. It is. It's difficult to fully grasp. Like, I think you understand it, and then you start doing it, and you're like, maybe I don't understand it. You know, I feel like for me, the biggest thing was just understanding your audience, because you think that, well, you see these, you know, huge people like Sean. Like this is pretty much, he was the one person who kind of pivoted all of this. I feel like that was his account. And and everyone was like, how does he do it? You know, like when I came to the mastermind, that was the first question I asked him in person was like, how do you like have such a relatable, funny thing, but still, you know, legendary is your offer? Because that's something that I wanted. I was like, I want to lead people towards legendary. Like, this is where I learned all these things. I value these skills, but how do you do that without being salesy and like having people really relate to you? Because that is hard. And I can't go and post something that Sean posts because his audience is entirely different than mine.
Exactly. Which is where then we get rid of the copying.
Yes.
But that's what I want you each to win. And I want you each to have your own individual business.
Yeah.
With your own personality, because followers for everybody.
100%. Yeah. And that's the point. I mean, it looks like people are like, oh, she's just posting something. Like you would think that's such an easy thing to post, but like you said earlier, like it's calculated. There's a why, and there's a why behind every single, you know, one of my posts, and like who I'm reaching and why I'm reaching that audience, and how that relates to me. And ultimately, like every post, even whether you don't see it or not, like this is a business account. It's supposed to look like a personal or a lifestyle account, you know, and it's relatable, but it's my business account, you know, and that's really hard at first to decipher. And you have to like know exactly what you're doing, or it's really easy to get lost in it and just to post like funny things and not really know why you're posting it. And then you reach an audience you're not even trying to reach. And then it's just can get messy if you don't know why you're doing it.
You gotta dial in the audience.
Yes.
How can you relate to them? How do you grow online friends with them and get to a point where now you can make recommendations and help solve the problems that they're going through? But you first got to collect them, right? We got to bring them in. And I think that's something a lot of those that are newer have a hard time grasping, because they're like, well, that could take a little bit of time.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to make money. So I need to create something that somebody's going to want to buy and sell immediately. But there's no one in your virtual room, first of all. And if you do have anyone that has watched the first couple of your videos, they don't trust you yet to click anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is everyone does this and they just want to like sell. And that was one thing that I had to fully separate myself from, was like, my only goal right now is to master the crap out of the lifestyle account posts. That's my goal. Is I want to be I want to be the best at it. Like, I want to be so good at it. And I also want to be able to look at anybody's account and just be able to audit it like this, because not only will that help other people, but it also will help me become stronger and better at being able to audit my own account, because that's huge too. Like, being able to audit your own account is massive. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And so like, if you just kind of, you know, that's my biggest thing, is just really separating myself from the money. Like, I don't think about how much I'm making anymore. I don't. I have my nursing job and I love it. And it's something that I can keep doing. And I know that one day this, you know, will take off, because I've been here for almost 2 years. I'm gonna be here for another 2 years. I don't care how long it takes, you know, like, and seeing even just my growth in my account, my confidence in myself, and, you know, my views, and like seeing the growth that I've seen, I'm like, I know I'm on the right track, and I know I'm doing something right, you know, and I've been here for almost 2 years. And I'm not saying it's going to take everybody that long to see some sort of success. There's people who have seen way quicker success than me. Also, like, I just wish that everyone knew when you started out, like, it's a journey, you know, and yours is going to be different than the person next to you. And it's going to suck at times, and you're going to be like, why am I doing this? And everyone around you is going to think you're crazy, and you're probably going to be cringe to certain people. And like, that's okay. It's okay to be cringe, you know, because everyone who's seen some level of success started somewhere, and they were cringe too. And now people are trying to hire them, and now people want to know what they're doing, you know? So like, that's the biggest thing for me, is just kind of like, there's going to be a long period of time where people are not going to understand, and that's okay. Like, you just have to keep going, because once you see the success, then they're going to be asking you, hey, what did you do? How did you do that?
Right.
You know, and just being able to push other people's opinions aside. I've always grown up being, quote unquote, the people pleaser, and that's been really difficult for me. And this has been a learning journey through that. Like, I have grown personally because of those things, because you have to, you know, people are going to think, oh, what's she doing? She's posting that thing, you know. I heard she's been doing it for almost 2 years, and every family function, how's that little side hustle of yours going, or whatever, you know. And one day I'm going to say, you know, it's really great. It's going really great. And it still is, but it's just, for certain people, outside results, especially when you start, like, you look at just the money, and you look at just the lifestyle, and like, that does not equate to growth. You know, if you're an athlete, growth doesn't mean just because you won the game. You might do better in any game that you've ever done and still lost, but that's the best you've ever done. So keep going, because at some point, you're going to win.
I mean, think of it this way. You can be at a family gathering and you have a cousin. We'll call the cousin Susie.
Okay.
Who did everything she's supposed to do that society and the family wants her to do. She went and got the job. She went and got the degree, got the job. And she's now 10 years into her career and hasn't made more than 2% more than the day she got hired 10 years ago. But everyone's like, she's struggling with her bills. She's struggling with this. She's struggling with that. She's not happy. But the family thinks she's amazing because she checked the boxes.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And us with our online marketing, entrepreneurship, we'll call it, could be doing far better than Cousin Susie, have far more wins, way more mindset gains, could have even monetary gains that are higher than Susie's overall, because there's high and low months, right? When you're an entrepreneur, but overall better lifestyle. And they'll be like, how's that little side hustle going?
Yeah.
I see you're not a billionaire yet, so you failed.
Yeah. It's crazy, the judgment.
Like Susie's making 30K a year and she's winner of the family, but you're not a billionaire, so you lose.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird. It's a weird dynamic.
I don't know why people are so judgmental towards it. Like, this is one of the hardest, like, and most proud of myself that I actually have ever been through this journey. And like, it's even funny too, you know, someone asked my husband, I think at his work the other day, and was just like, dang, like, why does she do that again? Like, she's still at that, huh? You know, like, she hasn't seen like the big results. And he was like, honestly, I don't entirely get it, but she believes in it. So I'm going to keep pushing for her, you know, like, I'm going to keep rooting for her. I think it's funny because he really is like my biggest supporter, but he really doesn't understand everything at times, which in moments like the mastermind is really cool to be able to connect with people who know exactly what you're going through. But yeah, it's just at some point, like, you know, through every journey, you're going to have to be the person that believes and roots for yourself more than anybody else.
Right.
If you're not, you're not seeing success in online business or in business in general, because you have to be the person to believe in yourself more than anyone.
Yep. And I don't care. Yes, community helps. Going to mastermind helps. All of that. It's those support pieces, but you still got to be the first one in line to cheer yourself on.
For sure. And to do the work. That's that's kind of the biggest thing. I think I saw like a quote from Alex Hormozy, or he posted those videos on Instagram, and I love watching them and listening to him. And one of his things he said, like, the problem with our generation is everybody thinks that, you know, watching podcasts and YouTube videos and reading books is doing the work. And although those are great things and they're great supplements to your everyday lifestyle and learning and growing, you know, doing the work, meaning like sitting down and going through the blueprints, or sitting down and auditing your account. Like, and I know I'm a victim of this too, because everyone, a lot of entrepreneurs are, like, I've learned in the space of self-help, like, you're always like listening to podcasts and like waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym and like getting that workout in and doing all these things. And sometimes all of it is just extra freaking icing and extra stuff, when really you could be spending that time just doing the dang work. Like, just sitting down and pulling up your account on your Instagram and being like, okay, does my bio match my posts? Is what I say, my bio match what I post every single day? No, we need to fix that, you know? Yeah.
Like, they look at my last 5 videos and know who I'm trying to reach.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because you always think in your head, like, well, of course they do. And then, you know, you look at your account and then you're like, hang on, let me just step back and look from an outside standpoint. This is what my bio says, who I'm trying to reach, but my posts, they don't match that. Okay. Like, when there needs to be some connection there, you know? Starting with self-reflection, I think, is the hardest part, but it's the best part. And that's when you kind of start to see some movement. So
for sure. And I love how you spoke on, you got to do the work. You got to put in the time. And I think sometimes it's going to take too much time.
Yeah.
But if you guys listened to the golden nugget Rylee shared, she would open blueprints on a break. What you 15 minutes, you spend 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about deciding how you choose your time.
For sure.
You got a coffee break, spend 10 minutes on working on your funnel, your lead magnet, create a quick piece of content, a strategy, brainstorm, go through part of a video in your education, do something that's moving you forward. Yeah. And it's doesn't need to be 8 hours every day. It's finding, you know, I said the other day, if you always watch an hour and a half of Netflix every night, start with cutting 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And spend that on your business and just do an hour of Netflix and then try to swap it more and more. Right?
And everybody's different. Like for me, I'm one of those people that I zone in. Like whenever I get watching a Netflix show or like reading a really good book series that has nothing to do with like putting any value in my life, I get so addicted to it. I'm like, I must watch this until it ends, you know? So for me, like stopping watching Netflix series, like that's something I had to do. And for somebody else, that might be instead of watching 3 shows, just watching 1. But for me, I'm like, I'm watching all, you know, so I have to just stop doing that for a time period. Instead, like if my husband and I want to just watch a movie, there's an end to that. You know, I know it's going to end in 2 hours, and then in 2 hours, then I can work on my business, you know, instead of just clicking next episode. And same with books. I love reading books. Like some books, you know,
that's my problem with books. Yeah. I literally will have to finish the whole thing.
I'm the same. And I'll read it like it's like my water throughout the day.
Like it's ridiculous. It takes over anything. So I'm like, oh, I'll find myself. I got things to do. I can't get into a book.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, the dog is getting spicy.
I know. They sound like they're killing each other, but they're just oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So looking back, I remember when I first saw you, I was with Dave and we saw you in the lobby at Mastermind. Do you remember the fountain?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I have to find a picture. I took a picture of you and Dave.
I know. I don't even know if I have, I need to.
I do have it. I should post it, but I'll put it in the stories.
I love that picture. Oh my God.
I remember you saying something along the lines, it's not verbatim, but you gave the impression of you really kind of have been on the struggle bus.
Yeah.
You had felt like, and you were like, but I'm going to keep going. I'm hoping this gives me some new motivation. And by the end of Mastermind, it was like a weight was off of your shoulders. Everything.
I know, it really was. Oh my gosh.
You kind of came in with some weight on you. What's your advice for anyone that's feeling that weight of their business? Because I know you felt it because I saw it.
Yeah. I would say that there's always a way to get out of it. You're not stuck there. I really value some form of mentorship, learning, or growth. Like if you need to take a second to step back, you don't have to kill yourself posting 3 times a day. Right. I think that quality content is so much better than quantity. I always did 3 posts a day, pretty much up until the Mastermind. And then I was just like, before the Mastermind, I felt like I was just, you know, throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to post something and not really knowing where it was going to go or the meaning behind why I was posting it. And I just felt like if I just figured out a way to minimize that, because for me, it was with my work schedule. It was really tough with my work schedule for me to post in the middle of the day. So now I post 2 times a day. I actually 2 days ago, I posted 3 times a day for the first time in like a really long time because I batch created a bunch of content. And you don't always have to like be so rigid to yourself. Like I feel like people think it's just if you miss a day, your business is gonna fail, and like you know, it's not that serious, you know. Like, right. And I've noticed too, especially since now that I know who I'm talking to. There's been days where I post once a day. Now, I really stick to minimum 2 a day, and I try to be as consistent with that as possible. But like, if I have something going on, one of my best friends just got married. I posted that morning, and I put my phone in my bag, and I didn't touch it the rest of the day. Because those were moments that I felt were more important, you know? And everybody has those moments in their lives. And I feel like if you put so much pressure on yourself to like, you know, I got to post 3 times a day, and I got to do this, and then you will find that one, you'll resent it. And you'll start to not enjoy it. And that's kind of not the point of you doing this. Right. Yeah, you know, like you're supposed to do this because you want to enjoy what you do and to have the time to do things, you know, not to be glued to your phone all of the time. Now, there is a time and place for work. And I think what was it Dave said at the mastermind? Something about, oh, what is luck? And it's like when preparation meets opportunity. And I think as long as you are prepared and you prepare ahead of time, let's say you have a wedding on Friday. Hey, let me batch create that content for Friday now. I'm going to have the captions written out. I'm going to have this. And you will thank yourself later down the road. But things happen. Things show up. And it's okay. Like, you just keep moving. You just keep going. And I feel like in my head, I've always told myself, if I don't stop, if I don't quit, I can't fail. And if something doesn't work out, then I use that as a learning lesson instead of looking at myself as a failure or that was awful, like it's been a process, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. I want to remind everyone, remember, as cheesy as this sounds, remember your why, your real why. Those things you really are looking for. Is it more time with your kids after school? Is it, whatever those little things are, even if you're not full-time online, able to quit your job, I want you to take 30 minutes or an hour, schedule it in of actually doing the thing you're going after.
Yeah.
Of why you're putting in the work. Maybe you haven't seen monetary success from this, but you've grown in a variety of ways, including your knowledge, your confidence, your self-worth.
Yeah.
Those are wins along the way. And if some of those wins are taking some, going on a walk, enjoying nature, taking a trip, I want you to do those in those little steps. I want you to start enjoying some of those things, because then it's easier to come back.
Oh yeah.
In the work, right? Instead of being like, okay, yeah, I don't want you to work for the next 10 years and not actually take advantage of any of the whys of why you started.
Yeah.
Then you have content to share with your audience and you're still relatable.
For sure, yeah. And it is relatable. Like, that is relatable. The average person doesn't start a business and they're just some mad form of success overnight. And if they are, then it probably either didn't happen legally or they've had years of experience doing something else they're not sharing with.
Exactly. There's always more to the story, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody came into the challenge or any other education. I'm just going to put this out there. Nobody went brand new, never logged in online, has zero social media experience, zero tech experience, and did anything online in a day or 2 days and walked away a gazillionaire.
Oh, yeah.
And went, all right, I'm good. I did that for 5 days.
Yeah.
Now we're done and I'm set for life. That's not real. That's not real.
No. And I had no experience prior to this. And I'm chugging along almost at year 2. And I've learned so much, like so much from Legendary, from investing in myself, from, mentors, all the way to blueprints, to masterminds, and I'm thankful that I'm able to invest in myself that way. But I really think that is the best ROI you'll ever receive, ever, is the knowledge that I now have because I've invested in myself in a lot of different ways. Nobody can ever take that from me. And, as long as you're always working on improving yourself and learning a new skill set and trying to master something, and it doesn't have to be make money online. It doesn't have to be promoting a course. It doesn't have to be, that's the great thing about Legendary is they teach you all of these avenues. Like, you want to promote dog walking, you can promote dog walking or underwater basket weaving. Right. Someone down there
loves teach you how to build the course and monetize it and have a blast and love your audience and make content for them, right?
Cool freaking things. Like, social media is it's just a hub of making your dreams a reality if you work hard enough. And I think that everybody is set on an even playing field. I truthfully do. Now, investing in yourself and your education is something that's going to get you there way quicker. But everyone's on an even playing field. So you have no excuse,
There was so much gold dropped right there.
My dogs are trying to knock down my lamp. I'm like, oh.
I know. I'm like, there's a lot going on at your feet and off camera.
So sorry. No, sorry guys. My dogs are crazy right now. But if I lock them out, then they're gonna start yapping. So
it really comes down to don't you deserve to invest in yourself? And I'm not saying you have to go spend even spend money. I'm saying invest time, energy, gaining knowledge, gaining confidence, gaining more self-worth. Because when you do that, you gain, I mean, when you go after something, when you learn new skills, a hobby, even whatever it is, you gain those things.
Yeah.
At some point, as we become adults, we stop prioritizing ourselves. We
You
stop
get so many hours.
ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And then we suddenly like, oh, I'm not meant, I can't learn anything new. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not this. And it's like, man, I don't want my kids to see that. I want them to see that they can continually through life do hard things.
Yeah.
Can learn something new, and that it's okay to prioritize yourself, because then you're better at serving others too.
Oh yeah. You're capable of more than you think, and you give so many hours a day to your job, to your family, to other people, whatever it is that you do. You deserve to give yourself a minimum of 1 hour a day to learn something new. And you can do a lot with that time. Like people, like we were talking about earlier, if you actually sit down and do the work and don't fiddle around and listen to this and watch this and read this and be like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Just do the work, sit down, start somewhere. You can do a lot with 1 hour.
Yeah. And not freaking go just, I'm doing research and scroll everybody else's page.
Yeah.
Talk yourself out of doing it work. No, not work in your business.
Yeah. At times there's a place and there's a time for it, but that is
the right mindset with a purpose, with a even.
Yeah. And it's really easy to get distracted if you do that too. So, you just got to be careful with that.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, if you got to do research
of
what other people are doing, I want you to do it at the end of your hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the beginning. You'll look
at
the
beginning.
I'll still be.
I want your beginning to be all about what you got to get done.
Yes.
You research at the end. And I don't want what you see from other people to feed into what action you're going to take. Cause I don't want you to look like them.
Yeah. And it's really, that's another relatable thing. I'll tell you, it's really easy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Really easy to do that. So you have to be careful.
And then all of a sudden you have an account and it's like, oh, you looked like Susie in this video and you talked to like Joey in this video and you used the same weird video and B-roll that, Guru number 7 did last month. And you're like, who are you? Yeah. And then who knows who you are?
Yeah.
Your identity is like trying to be all these different people that you saw online when you got to just find yourself.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's not as difficult, I feel like, when people think. Another thing I learned at the mastermind was B-roll. We got to walk around and like Sean was showing us like the best ways to set up your camera and all that stuff, which I didn't do before. If you do not have one of those sticks, I don't know why I can't think of what it's called, but you need to carry it everywhere and just B-roll your stuff doing everyday life, and then copyright is huge, and being able, the words on your screen and in your caption, like being able to connect those are huge. That's another thing. I kind of stopped speaking in my content just because, one, I really wanted to get better at my copyright, but two, you have to be, it's kind of hard with a lifestyle account to speak certain things. It's way more difficult, I feel like, than the words on the screen. But being able to just have like video yourself doing the dishes, doing laundry, having that, it also makes it way quicker if you're in a time crunch and you're like, crap, I gotta make my second post for the day, and you already have all of this content to just slap some words on the screen, meaningful words. There's a point to them, but you have it ready and you don't have to, well, we got to stop doing what we're doing and I got to create a video real quick. Like you already have it prepared.
Yep. It's on day 3 of the challenge. It's in the blueprints. On the content challenge that I did, there's a whole section on create your B-roll library. Just
oh my gosh, it's huge.
Film, and just stack B-roll. And then when you are in a crunch, when you're in the car, you're at kids' sports, you're getting ready to go out, you have a meeting, whatever, you get married, you can just be done.
Yes.
And just have it ready and not always starting from scratch every moment. Or when you get an idea. of great copy.
Yes.
And you already have the B-roll. You can just pick one and put that copy on that you had the idea. And
another thing is I'll keep notes, like in my notes section in my phone. I just keep like, if I'll be driving sometimes and I'm like, crap, I have an idea. And I'll even like just put on my voice record and record like, say this. And because sometimes it's crazy how a thought will come and then I'll just lose it. I'm like, I don't remember what I was thinking. So if you keep like a section in your phone, that's a great thing too, is there's a lot of ways that you can reuse content and tweak a word here, tweak a word there. And it's the same video, slightly said, slightly different. And it can still provide the same value to people without being exactly the same. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This has been fantastic, Rylee. I always love when you're on. Of course, you have to come back. I love every part of your journey and just seeing kind of how you're evolving as well as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, through all of your episodes is really, really cool to see too. So thank you for coming on and sharing all the gold this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. So
yeah, definitely. I love it. And you have to come back and hopefully we see you at another mastermind as well.
I know, in Austin. I live in Houston, so.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I will say I don't use my Facebook as often. I know
I had your Instagram up earlier and
oh, okay. I was like, I mean I do use it, but not as often. Thank you.
I got you. Thanks for coming on, Rylee. All right, guys, go give Rylee a follow on Instagram at ry.byrd, ry.byrd. Go give her a follow on Instagram, comment on her stuff, let her know that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary. You could probably search her name on our Facebook page and find her previous episodes as well. But it's just awesome to see her growth as a business owner and entrepreneur, and love watching and being able to see everything that's going on with her, which is pretty awesome. There was a ton of gold in today's episode about content creation, focusing on your audience, and making those online friends, which is so crucial. But I know is so hard to grasp at the start, but it is an important step not to skip. She also mentioned a lot about finding community, going to mastermind, finding mentorship, being surrounded with people with like-minded, they're doing the same thing. They understand what you're going through. If you would like to just chat with somebody on our team about how to be more accountable, maybe joining our mentorship program, all you need to do is send Dave an email, type accountability in the subject, and he will connect you with a mentor from Legendary Marketer. And you'll get a free 30-minute call to just talk about what's going on. It'll be like you're sitting at a mastermind having lunch with one of us and just gaining some clarity for yourself, for your business. Grab some action steps of what to do next. It's not a sales call. It really is meant to give you some help, some accountability, see where you're at. You're, of course, going to hear about our accountability and mentorship program, but you get to decide, is that what is the next step for you? Or can you take what advice you got and move forward with it on your own? But you won't know till you go. So send Dave an email, accountability in the subject. We'll hook you up with a free mentorship call with one of our mentors, which is always amazing, amazing experience. I haven't heard anything negative about any of those calls, so definitely go check it out. All right, tomorrow, if you are a Blueprints member, it is a decade in a day tomorrow with Ryan and I. Always my favorite Fridays for sure. I love me some decade in a day. So if you are not enrolled yet for tomorrow's webinar, we usually go about 4.5, 5 hours, somewhere in there. Get signed up in the back office. And as always, everyone, stay legendary. Peace.